Introduction to the Timeless Tale. Once upon a time, in a cozy little nook in my memory, there nestled a story so dear and captivating it has danced through generations, warming the hearts of children and adults alike. I speak of none other than the charming fable of the Three Little Pigs, a tale bursting with lessons, laughter, and the kind of adventure that only the innocent mischief of youth can offer. As twilight descends and the stars begin their twinkle, the stage is set for a storytime ritual where imaginations run wild and dreams take flight. The Three Little Pigs, each with their unique quirks and aspirations, embark on a journey to carve out a life of their own in the great, wide world. Their paths, however, are not devoid of peril, for a sly wolf lurks in the shadows, his appetite for mischief as insatiable as his hunger for a porky feast. But fret not, dear listeners, for this is no ordinary tale of prey and predator. It is a vibrant tapestry woven with strands of resilience, wit, and the enduring power of brotherhood. So, nestle down, fluff up your pillows, and let the comforting lull of my voice carry you into the heart of this enchanting narrative, where straw is spun into gold, sticks become shields, and bricks lay the foundation for legendary fables. As your eyelids grow heavy and sleep beckons, may the tale of the Three Little Pigs be a gentle reminder that no matter the huffs and puffs life throws your way, with a dash of ingenuity and the warmth of kinship, you too can build a house, nay, a fortress of joy and security in this vast world of wonder. Now, let us turn the page to the very beginning, where it all starts with a mother pig's tender farewell and a world ripe for discovery. Setting the scene. Life in the pig family. Once upon a time, within a cozy cottage nestled in a verdant glade, I witnessed the charming yet bustling life of a particular pig family. This family, you see, wasn't ordinary. They hummed with a warm vigour that could make even the most sorrowful day seem bright. In the smallest room of their cottage, I noticed how each pig was distinct, proudly displaying their unique personalities. The eldest, whose bristles were as smooth as polished oak, shone with wisdom. He preferred spending his days poring over musty books, his mind always dancing with thoughts of sturdy houses, safe from the huff and puff of the big, bad world. The middle pig, with a twinkle in his eye, was the artisan of the trio. His laughter spilled like a melody as he crafted trinkets and toys, finding joy in the strength of the sticks he whittled with love and care. The youngest pig, plump and merry, made every room feel like a festival. His heart beat to the rhythm of adventure, and he dreamt of homes made of straw where the sunshine would stream in untroubled, and the breeze would play through as it pleased. Their mother, a figure of patience and grace, watched over her sons with a tender eye. She knew their hearts and encouraged their dreams, but beneath her encouraging smiles she harboured a gentle concern. The world outside was not always a ballad of sunlight and soft winds. There was whispering and rustling as the pig family bustled about their home, each brother in his own world, yet united by shared laughter and dreams. It was a life of simple pleasures and heartfelt toils, a life that, unbeknownst to them, was soon to be woven with strands of challenge and adventure. Character introduction. The Three Unique Pigs. Hello, little readers. It's story time, and I am quite excited to introduce you to the most endearing characters of our tale, the Three Unique Pigs. Each of these little pigs has a personality as distinct as the houses they build, and you'll love to hear about their little quirks and clever moves as they try to outsmart a wily wolf. First up is the youngest pig, whom I affectionately call Patty. Patty is a free spirit who values fun over work. She loves to play and dance in the meadows, often singing silly songs as she goes along. Her house is made of straw, hastily put together because she can't wait to get back to her games. The second pig is Paul, the middle sibling, who has a bit more sense but still likes to take it easy. He has a passion for picking apples and making delicious pies. Unlike Patty, Paul chooses sticks for his dwelling, a slightly sturdier choice, but he still puts it up quickly so he can enjoy the fruits of his labor. The eldest is Pete, who is as practical as he is persevering. He's the kind of pig who believes in hard work and never shirks his duties. His house, meticulously crafted from bricks, is a labor of love and the testament of his dedication. Pete also looks after his younger siblings, always reminding them of the importance of diligence. Patty, the youngest, fun-loving and carefree. Paul, the middle pig, a bit more sensible, enjoys leisure and pie-making. Pete, the eldest, hard-working and protective. Watch how their contrasting approaches to life and home-building fare when they encounter someone who's big, bad, and quite the huff-and-puff aficionado. Will their unique traits be their undoing or their salvation? Let's find out together, shall we? The straw house. The first pig's tale. Once upon a time, in a fair meadow just beyond the old mill, I, the first little pig, decided it was high time to seek my fortune and build a home of my own. My mother had always said, "Fortune favors the bold," and so, with a heart brimming with courage, I set out into the wide world. It wasn't long before I met a farmer carrying a bundle of straw. My mind raced with the thought of a cozy golden house that would sway gently in the breeze. "Sir, may I buy your straw to build my house?" I asked with hope in my voice. The kindly farmer agreed, and soon enough I had all the straw I could carry. With my little hooves I fashioned the straw into walls and a roof. It was a sight to behold, my very own straw house, complete with a charming little door and a window to let in the golden sunlight. I must admit, it was quite the charming, albeit fragile, abode. My brothers warned me a straw house might not stand against the huff and puff of danger. But I laughed it off, filled with naive pride in my handiwork. I decorated my new home with dainty flowers and settled in, unaware of the lesson fate had in store for me. Lo and behold, a wolf did come, a great big beast with appetites as vast as the plains. Little pig, let me in!" he roared. My straw house trembled, and I quivered within, recalling my brother's words a tad too late. With just one mighty breath, the wolf blew my house away, and I scurried off to my brother's wooden house, my heart pounding with fear and my ego a bit deflated. But, as stories go, every tumble is a prelude to a wiser step, and I learned that some shortcuts lead to long falls. And this, my dear friends, is the tale of my straw house, a whimsical chapter in the adventures of the three little pigs. The stick house, the second pig's endeavors. After watching my brother set off to build his straw house, I decided that I needed something a bit sturdier. I wasn't the strongest pig around, but I was smart enough to know that a house made from sticks would be better than one made of straw. So, I ventured into the nearby woods where the sounds of birds filled the air and the sweet smell of pine tickled my snout. Gathering the sticks wasn't as easy as I thought. I had to tug and pull at the branches, sometimes jumping to reach the ones that looked particularly strong and long. But I did it with a song in my heart, thinking about the cozy stick house I'd build. Once I had enough, I began the construction of my home. It was a time-consuming task, placing each stick carefully, making sure they interlocked, creating a weave that could withstand the gentlest of breezes. I remember pausing to wipe the sweat from my brow, looking at my creation. It wasn't grand, and it wouldn't fetch a handsome price in the market, but it was sturdy, and it was mine. By dusk, my stick house stood complete, with a little door that swung open eagerly and windows that looked out into the wildflower-speckled meadow. That night, as I nestled into my new home, I felt a sense of pride. Yes, it was only made of sticks, but I had built it with my own hooves. I had worked hard, and now I could sleep soundly within its wooden embrace, dreaming of the adventures yet to come. Little did I know, my adventures were about to take a turn with the arrival of someone rather unexpected, someone with a huff, a puff, and a breath that could bring houses down. The brick. House. The third pig's wisdom. Once upon a time, in a meadow not far from the village, I decided to build my house out of bricks. Many said it was too much effort, but I wanted a sturdy home, one that would stand against all threats. I admired the other houses from afar, but I could sense their fragility. The straw house was quaint, and the wooden one had a certain charm, but bricks have a permanence that the others lack. As I laid each brick, I thought about the future. I mixed the mortar with precision and placed each brick with care, creating solid walls that rose around me, promising safety and comfort. My brothers often teased me for taking so long with my construction, but I knew it was worth the effort. Each night, as the sun dipped below the horizon, I felt proud of the work I had completed. When the wolf came, his breath was as fierce as the rumors had warned. He huffed at the straw house, and in mere moments, it collapsed. He puffed at the wooden house, and it too succumbed to his power. But when he stood before my brick house, his confidence wavered. I could see it in his eyes, the realization that he had met his match. The wolf huffed, and he puffed with all his might, but my brick walls stood unmoved. I could hear him outside, growing more exasperated with each failed attempt to blow my house down. Finally, battered and breathless, the wolf yielded. He had underestimated the strength of bricks and the wisdom of perseverance. I watched from my window as he disappeared into the forest, defeated. In that moment, I knew that true wisdom lay in the choices we make for the future and the care we take in securing it. Enter the wolf, the antagonist of our story. Now, as I weave the tale of the three little pigs for you, we must introduce a character of cunning and guile. It is time to speak of the wolf, the antagonist who gives our story the conflict it needs to captivate and teach. Oh, the wolf, with a coat as grey as the shadows that dance in the firelight, was no ordinary wolf. He was known throughout the lands for his sly nature and his insatiable hunger, not just for food but for mischief as well. His eyes, a piercing yellow, gleamed with a mix of intelligence and malice. When he grinned, which was often and usually for no good reason, you could catch the glint of his sharp, menacing teeth. This wolf, my dear listeners, had an extraordinary sense of smell and could track the scent of fear miles away. That's how he came upon the three little pigs. Their scent of innocent workmanship and naivety was like a beacon to him, and he approached with a deceptive grace that belied his true intentions. He hadn't had a decent meal in days, and the thought of three plump piglets made his stomach growl with a sound that echoed like thunder through the forest. His plan was simple: use his wit to outsmart the pigs and enjoy a tasty reward. But, as you will soon find out, things did not go exactly as the wolf had planned. As I continue this tale, keep in mind that every story needs its shadow, and the wolf, well, he was the darkness against which the light of our three little heroes would shine all the brighter. So, gather close, for the story turns now on the hinge of fate, as our wolf steps onto the stage and knocks on the first door. A house of straw. The first encounter. Once upon a time, in a far-off land, I stumbled upon a quaint little house made entirely of straw. As sunbeams danced upon its golden walls, I couldn't help but marvel at its delicate construction. The owner, a sprightly young pig with a twinkle in his eye, greeted me with a joyful oink. He was the first of the 3 brothers I'd encounter on my adventures. "Oh, hello there," he exclaimed with an infectious giggle. "Welcome to my humble abode. I built it myself with straw I found in the meadow. Isn't it just splendid?" I nodded, impressed by the pig's resourcefulness, though I had my reservations about its sturdiness. The house had an almost magical appeal, swaying gently in the breeze like a golden wheat field. It was a sight to behold. The pig was proud of his work, but concerns about its durability lingered. As the pig invited me in for tea, I hesitated, momentarily concerned that a stray gust could dismantle this house of straw. But his enthusiasm won over my caution, and I stepped inside. The interior was cozy, and the pig couldn't have been more hospitable. Suddenly, a shadow loomed over us. A wolf, large and foreboding, approached with a sinister grin. Little pig, let me come in!" he called out with a deceptive sweetness that belied his intentions. The pig's face drained of color as he whispered desperately to me, "No matter what happens, don't let him in." I braced myself for what was to come, hoping the fragile walls of straw could somehow withstand the encounter with the wily wolf. The air was tense, and little did I know, this was only the beginning of a much larger tale. A home of sticks. The second confrontation. After escaping the wolf's clutches at my first home, I hastily made my way to my brother's house, which was built of sticks. It was sturdier than straw, but still I had my doubts about its strength. No sooner had I caught my breath and explained to my brother what had transpired, we heard a familiar growl outside. The wolf had followed me. Bracing ourselves, we heard his taunting voice. Little pigs, let me in!" But we were determined. "Not by the hair of our chins," we replied in unison, our voices mingled with fear and defiance. We would not open the door, so the wolf bellowed, "Then I'll huff and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down!" I could feel the house shivering as the wolf inhaled deeply, and then, with a force that seemed to shake the very earth, he exhaled. The stick house creaked and groaned under the strain. I clasped my brother's hand, our senses heightened in anticipation of our fate. Once, twice, thrice. The wolf huffed and puffed, and on his third tremendous breath, the house of sticks stood no chance. It collapsed into a heap, and we had barely the time to yelp before running out the back door, the wolf snapping at our heels. With hearts pounding like drumbeats in our ears, we did not dare look back as we fled towards our last hope, our third brother's house made of bricks. Would it be strong enough to keep us safe? Only time would tell. A stronghold of bricks. The final stand. With the downfall of my brother's houses, the one made of straw and the one constructed from sticks, my home, the brick house, stood resolute. I had labored tirelessly on it, smearing the mortar and laying each brick with precision. It was not just a house. It was my fortress against the world, especially against that ravenous wolf that had devastated what my brothers had built. The wolf came, just as expected. First, he tried his silken words. Little pig, let me come in," he cooed, but his intentions were as transparent as glass. "Not by the hair of my chin," I replied, with a mix of fear and determination. The wolf's response was predictable. "Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down." But this house was different. The first huff and the first puff were hefty, filled with all the wolf's might and menace. Yet my house stood unbudged, as solid as the ground it was built upon. The wolf huffed and puffed again and again. Yet the bricks did not shake, they did not crumble. They held firm, as my resolve did. Then came the wolf's final tactic, the threat of climbing down the chimney. I foresaw his plan and devised a counter, a pot of boiling water placed precisely at the fireplace. As the wolf descended, he let out a howl that echoed through the forest. It was a howl of defeat, for the boiling water was an unwelcome surprise that sent him running with his tail between his legs, never to trouble us again. My stronghold of bricks had become not just the final stand, but also the ultimate victory. It was proof that diligence and wisdom can indeed overcome brute force and guile. Lessons from the rubble. Themes of the Three Little Pigs. As I reflect on the classic tale of the Three Little Pigs, a multitude of lessons unveil themselves among the ruins of straw and sticks, standing firm in the brickwork of wisdom. The first, and perhaps most evident lesson, is the virtue of hard work and diligence. While the first two pigs hastily build homes of straw and sticks, it is the third pig, with his brick house, who teaches us the value of putting in the effort and preparing for the future. Then there's the theme of resilience and adaptability. Each pig faces the same adversary, the big bad wolf, but their outcomes differ starkly. It becomes clear that being able to endure hardship and adapt to challenges is crucial for survival and success. The first two pigs, although they failed initially, didn't give in to despair. They ran to their brother's stronger house, showing us that sometimes seeking help is not a weakness, but a smart strategy for survival. Moreover, this tale underscores the importance of wisdom and learning from others. The third pig, who chooses bricks, seemingly knows something his siblings do not. Whether that knowledge came from listening to others, prior experience, or natural cunning, it proves advantageous. Perseverance despite failures is a subtle yet strong theme. The wolf's repeated attempts to capture the pigs illustrate that even the most formidable challenges can be overcome with tenacity. Lastly, innovation stands out. The third pig not only builds a sturdy house, but also devises the plan to outwit the wolf, further emphasizing that creativity and cleverness often triumph over brute strength. In the end, the Three Little Pigs teach me that life's adversities can be best faced with preparation, courage, wisdom, and a touch of ingenuity. The aftermath, what happens to the wolf. As the dust settled and the ruins of the two demolished houses still smouldered, I, the eldest pig in my brick house, observed the disgruntled wolf. He wasn't having the best of days. Huffing and puffing had certainly taken its toll. With a furrowed brow and a heavy heart, I watched him limp away, coughing and nursing his scorched tail. I couldn't help but ponder the fate that awaited the poor creature. Tradition might have you believe that the story ends with the wolf's defeat, but life isn't always so straightforward. In the forest, animals talk, just like we do, and word spreads quickly. By sunset, the wolf's failed attempts had become the latest gossip, humbling him beneath the trees' towering gossip. The once mighty predator was now the laughingstock of the woods, with even the squirrels chuckling behind their paws. Forced to reflect on his actions, the wolf had an epiphany. Maybe there were easier meals than 3 clever pigs in a fortress of a home. With time, the wolf seemed to seek a gentler path, opting for berries and the occasional fish. No more house-destroying antics for him. Healing both physically and reputation-wise took time. Still, the forest could be forgiving, and eventually the bruises to his ego faded, much like the scorch marks on his tail. What's important to remember is that every story has its moral. In this case, it's that wit and preparation outmatch brute force. And as for the defeated wolf, even he found peace in the forest once more, albeit with a newfound respect for architecturally savvy pigs and the value of strategic thinking over hasty lunges. Morals and takeaways for children. When I delve into the tale of the three little pigs, I gather a treasure trove of lessons that sparkle with wisdom. I'd love to share with my youthful friends some of these gleaming nuggets that can guide us through the maze of life. The virtue of hard work. The first pig built his house out of straw, and the second pig used sticks. They sought the quickest way to finish their task, choosing play over labor. But the third pig, oh, he was diligent. He built his house from bricks, a task that demanded time and sweat. When the big bad wolf came, it was the sturdy brick house that stood tall. I learned that the fruits of hard work are sweet and enduring. Preparation pays off. The story thumps into our thoughts the importance of being prepared. Even when skies are clear, I see how the third pig was thinking ahead. By making a strong home, he was ready for the stormy winds that life invariably sends our way. Wisdom over strength. No matter how fiercely the wolf huffed and puffed, he couldn't blow down the house made of bricks. This shows me that strength doesn't always win against wisdom and cunning. The third pig outsmarted the wolf at every turn, proving that brains often best brawn. Unity is strength. In the end, the three pigs united in the brick house. This unity gave them the power to overcome their adversary. I'm reminded that when you and I stand together, we can face mightier challenges than we ever could alone. These morals gleaned from the three little pigs are lessons I'll carry in my heart, as sturdy as brick houses in a fable, ready to face the wolves of the world. The enduring legacy of the three little pigs story. When I recount the tale of the three little pigs, I can't help but marvel at its timeless resonance. This cherished fable, woven into the fabric of countless childhoods, is more than just a simple bedtime yarn. It's a vessel of enduring wisdom. It whispers of diligence, resourcefulness, and the sheer power of unity in the face of adversity. Teachings as relevant today as they were in the past. The legacy of the three little pigs largely rests on its ability to grow with us. As a child, I'd cheer for the pigs, delighted by their triumphant wit over the big, bad wolf. As I grew older, the story started to take on new shades of meaning, subtle messages about the importance of hard work and foresight. The house of straw, once merely a flimsy obstacle for the wolf's mighty puff, became a symbol of hasty decisions and the consequences that follow. It's remarkable how, across generations, children and adults alike find common ground in the well-known refrain, little pig, let me in." No matter our age, we understand the determination of the wolf and the resolve of the pigs as they firmly respond, "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." This line alone has woven itself into our cultural fabric, finding its place in literature, cinema, and countless adaptations. Many a time, I've seen the bravery of the third pig echoed in stories that encourage us to build our houses with as much care and foresight as bricks. In retelling this story, I'm not just carrying a torch that illuminates a path through childhood. I'm keeping alive a narrative that's as much about building character as it is about building houses. The fact that it continues to be recounted across the globe, evolving with each telling, speaks volumes of its lasting impact. This, undoubtedly, is the essence of what makes The Three Little Pigs a story for the ages. Conclusion. Bedtime reflections on The Three Little Pigs. As the stars twinkle high above and the night wraps the world in its quiet hush, I find myself reflecting on the tale of the three little pigs. Lying in bed, the story's layers unravel in my mind like ribbons of dreams, weaving lessons into the fabric of my thoughts. I ponder on the importance of hard work and perseverance. The first two pigs built their houses quickly and with little effort, much like when I rushed through my homework just to go play. Yet, it was the third pig, diligent and thoughtful, who spent the time to build a strong house of bricks. His efforts paid off, shielding him from harm. It reminds me that taking the time to do things right is more valuable than the lure of instant gratification. I consider the role of wisdom and ingenuity. When the wolf huffed and puffed, it wasn't just the sturdy brick house that saved the day. It was also the cleverness of the third pig. He outsmarted the wolf at every turn, showing that brains often triumph over brawn. It's a mental note to myself. Be adaptable, think creatively, and never underestimate the power of a sharp mind. I mull over the strength of unity and collaboration. In the end, all three pigs banded together in the brick house, combining their strengths to overcome the wolf. It's a gentle nudge to appreciate the value of teamwork and to seek help when needed. No pig, or person, is an island. As my eyelids grow heavy, I'm soothed by these lessons tucked into my heart. The story of the three little pigs is more than a simple bedtime tale. It's a guidebook for life, disguised in the innocence of a children's fable. With a yawn and a smile, I drift into slumber, the whispers of the story a lullaby for my dreams.